Hello, welcome to new gameplay today. I am your host as usual, Wesley LeBlanc, and today I'm going to be showing you a game called Betrayal at Club Low. Now there's a good chance you might have not heard of this game. I hadn't heard of this game before checking it out, but I'm so glad I did get the chance to check it out because it's one I'm really looking forward to now. It is being developed and published by Cosmo D Studios, and it actually comes out next month, September 2022, if you're listening to this in August. So I'm going to read you the premise because that's kind of what sold me on this game and why I decided to check out the demo. Tonight you're on a rescue mission, infiltrating a nightclub that was once a coffin factory. Will you succeed? Will you fail? Or will your night take an unexpected detour? Roll the pizza dice and find out. Yeah, so if you include pizza dice in your pitch, I'm going to check your game out. I didn't know what pizza dice were or are before checking this demo out, and now I do. And I gotta say, it's a really fun tomato sauce inspired mechanic, and it's a great time. So I'm gonna kind of walk you through exactly what I did in this demo. There's plenty of on-screen tutorials so you can kind of read along and whatnot to kind of get a feel for this game. As you can see, the main mechanic, and this is going to fuel everything you do in the game, is dice rolling. So there's two ways you can roll dice. You can kind of just press a button and it throws them on screen, or you can use the little, I think they call it a tunnel system. That's what I did. It kind of just flips the dice around with this cool little head outline. I think it just kind of goes more with the ambiance, so that's what I went with. But yeah, so basically every decision you make in the game and every person you talk to and everything you do is determined by a skill check, essentially, kind of like D&D. If D&D's skills were cooking, deception, music, observation, physique, wisdom, and wit, which those are kind of along the same lines. And as you can see here, I have some cash at the top left part of the screen, and I am actually spending that cash to upgrade my skills because everything you're doing is based on these skill checks. Your goal is going to be, other than infiltrating the nightclub, your goal is to get your skills up high because you're going to need it. Some of these skill checks are ridiculously challenging, but in a great way. And so now that I've raised my stats up a bit, I'm going to roll one of my dice. I got a 2, she got a 1. That means that I win and I successfully complete the skill check or dialogue choice, and I also got some cash, which I can later spend on skills once I get a little bit more. And so what's going on here is you're like an undercover pizza delivery guy, and you have to infiltrate this nightclub to find another undercover agent, and she's kind of giving you the mission. This is just a 20-minute demo, so I'm not privy to all the details surrounding this game. What you're seeing on screen is what I know. I'm not sure, why this character is blue, kind of almost undead looking, maybe like a zombie, whereas other characters aren't. But I'm excited to find out in the full release next month. And so it's very role-playing, kind of traditional adventure game, because as you can see on screen, you will just be walking over some wood planks, and all of a sudden, boom, a smell is spewing up and doing something to you. And I have 3 choices here based on how I proceed. And what I'm going to do is roll to see if those smells are familiar, which would be a cooking check, as you can see on screen here. And now because of this, I have received some conditions. I have some tense dice now that will be applied to anything where tense would make sense, and I have a determined condition, which adds determined dice to my deception checks, for example. And as you can see, the tense ones, the yellow ones, those are not good. When those get folded into the play, I should not be excited, and I wasn't, because they can damage you. Those 3 hearts with the yellow X's on them, that means you take damage, and your health is determined in the top right part of the screen. If you lose 5 of those red hearts, you die and you get a game over. I don't know how it's going to be in the final game, but in the demo, a game over meant completely restarting. And the same goes for those blue brains. I believe they're called nerves. If you lose 5 of those, you will also get a game over. And so we finally reached the nightclub where we're trying to get inside. I was, of course, enticed by the pizza oven nearby. And it turns out pizza is a huge part of this game, which makes this game awesome right off the bat. So essentially, pizza dice can be thrown into any dice roll you do. And that's great because you're going to need it to pass some of these. It also makes sense considering this guy is delivering pizza. So what I'm doing here is choosing the 6 dice, the 6 pizza die I want to accompany all of my dice rolls. So the 2 red hearts will give me health if I roll those. The 2 blue ones will give me more nerve if I roll those. The fresh mozzarella will give me $4, and the shredded mozzarella will give me $2. So if I roll those, I get cash. If I roll the brain or the heart, I get health and or nerve. And so with the pizza dice now in my back pocket, I'm going to go and talk to some of these people in line. And it turns out I got a little nervous, as you can see here. I wasn't quite sure if I could pass these checks. Still kind of sussing out what exactly I'm supposed to be doing here. I know I'm supposed to get into the nightclub, but obviously waiting in line behind like 10 people is not going to satisfy the urgency the mission requires. So before doing any rolls, you can see that I'm raising my deception and observation. So the plus sign on the right lets you raise the entire row of dice, which is awesome, but it's very expensive, and it gets more expensive the better your dice get. But you can also upgrade individual dice. And so what you're seeing here now is my attempt to sneak past the people in line. I'm being a line skipper, a cutter, whatever you want to call it. It's not great. Don't do this. I hate when people do this at theme parks or at fast food restaurants, really wherever you go. If you skip the line, I'm going to be a little upset. Don't do that. Just wait in line with the rest of us, which is exactly what I'm not doing here. So you can see that I successfully skipped the line and am now moving closer and closer to the entrance. And yet I have been stopped by someone. So now I must determine what I'm going to do next. And I got a little nervous, so we're just gonna go talk directly to the, what do they call these, bouncers? It's a great PS2 video game as well, standing in front of the club. So you can see that he is not happy that I skipped the line, and he actually has some additional dice up top, kind of like my pizza dice, but his are line skipping dice. So if I rolled against him, which I chose not to do, he would have super powerful extra dice to throw at me, to throw in the dice roll, because he's upset with me for being a line skipper and because he caught me skipping the line. So it's kind of a moot point even trying to, get in. He has enough dice to completely override mine, and I had no chance of winning. So instead, I'm going down this alley and we're going to do some exploring. Found me a pizza ingredient. Maybe I can climb this ladder. Let's find out. And I did not think I could pass those dice checks, so instead I went to the dumpster, which is what everyone does when they decide not to climb ladders, right? So we're gonna dig through the trash for treasure. What could that treasure be? Who knows? Oh, and by the way, this is on PC, if you're wondering. So you can see here that his 4 beats my 2, but this roll did give me 1 nerve back, which I don't need right now because I have full blue brains. So I'm going to re-roll both of those dice. And the same thing. So you can kind of see that what I'm going for is money because I don't actually have a way to successfully win this dice roll. And so what happened there is some of my condition dice are now locked, which can be good or bad. If you have good condition dice and they get locked, that's not great. But as you can see, my -2 dice is locked, which is awesome because now I can't roll a -2. And so I believe here you're going to see me try again to dig through the trash. And the reason why is because I have a +3 pizza dice. And so if I can get that, I should be able to successfully win this. This is a fun little detail. The table needed to be kicked because the dice got stuck. So you can see here I took 2 blue brain damage. Not great. I got $2 and a 2. That's not enough to beat the 3. So we're going to re-roll that. And I got another blue brain damage. I should note that none of this is permanent until you accept the roll. So you'll see it kind of show what's going to happen if you keep this roll, which is why you're seeing like the animations with the brains and stuff. But none of it is permanent until you actually choose that you're accepting that roll. And so as you can see, I'm going to take one more crack at digging through the trash for treasure, and that is because I want to show you guys exactly what you get in the trash. Look at that. Look at that. 5 versus 4. I win. So that's exactly what I was going for all 3 times. Of course, it took the 3rd dice roll to make it happen. 3rd time's a charm or something like that. And I found 1 truth pepper. So basically, the truth pepper lets you re-roll an opponent's dice, which is super exciting because that, for example, that most recent instance where the opponent, in this case the dumpster, rolled a 4, it would be really tough for me to be the 4. But what if I can re-roll their dice and give them a 1? So that's how you're going to be using that. And so now I'm trying to sneak into the club. Decided that waiting in line's not going to do it, and I cannot get past that bouncer. But this bouncer, this side door guard, is asleep. And so I'm going to see what we can do here. You can wrestle the guard to the ground while he's sleeping. You can wake him up. Or you can walk away and just try to get through the door. Spoilers, I've played through this demo a few times, and waking the guard up does not go well. Turns out people don't like to be woken up, especially the angry guard. And so we're going to not do that. Instead, we're going to try to quietly open the door. But as you can see, I'm checking which of my dice I can upgrade before making this roll. So I went ahead and did 2 of my deception dice, brought them up to 4, which is going to help me greatly. It's actually essential to get inside. And as you can see, I have enough to successfully open the door, and we're going to move forward with it. Now we're going to head inside. And we've made it into the kitchen. We are almost into the nightclub. Let's go. Immediately going to open that up, find 2 basil, which, as you know, is a... Well, you don't know. This is a brand new dice. Sorry, I know. The basil doubles your tips earned, which is the money dice that you can have on your pizza, the fresh mozzarella and the shredded mozzarella. And so now I've found a white pizza recipe, which is going to give me a whole new set of dice to make. And as you can see, I'm going to try to switch things up a bit, kind of mix and match the pizza so that the red pizza has like a clear goal and the white pizza has a clear goal. Yeah, so as you can see, the white pizza is all about making me cash, whereas the red pizza is about recovering my health and my nerve. So I've got the 2 $2 cheeses and the $4 cheese, and I've got the basil, which would double the amount of money I earn if I roll either of those. So I was about to head up there, but I noticed some things I want to check out here first in the kitchen. Can I pick the lock? No, I cannot. Not even close. Even my best die wouldn't do it. And so instead, we're going to talk to the chef here and see what, we can maybe find out from the chef, see if we can help them. Maybe they're the answer to get inside the club. And so what the game wants you to do here is help the chef so that they can move on from this area. Of course, that's not what I'm going to do. I'm going to see if maybe pickpocketing the car keys is a viable option. Spoilers, I do not remember if this goes well for me, but I would wager that it doesn't. And we're off to a bad start. As you can see, that does not give me the necessary roll I need to win. And so we're going to keep rolling this yellow one because I'm basically tied, but if I can get like a +1 or something, or a +3, that'd be excellent. And so what you saw me trying to do there was recover some nerve while also tying with the chef, but I did not do that because in trying to roll for the blue brain, I received a -1, which made it so where I could not beat the chef's 3 dice. But that's okay, we have some other things we can do, talking to the chef here. You can kind of see me checking out which roles are possible. You can bluff that you're the relief chef, you can freak out and act like you're the health inspector, or you can bake the chef a pizza and win them over. we're gonna go for the bluff, the act like we're the relief chef. And as you can see, it is not off to a great start. However, those 2 blue brain dice counter the dice that would make me lose 2 brains, which is awesome. But it's also not enough to beat the chef's 5. So you're gonna see me re-roll here, see what else we can do. Oof, not good, not good at all. Another bad one, but that's better. We didn't lose 2 nerve, we lost 1. And so bluffing to the chef did not do it. They immediately called me on it. As you can see, I'm kind of mulling over whether I should try to bluff again, which would be a little ridiculous, especially because they are now on to me and exhausted. So they have 2 sets of extra dice to throw against me that could damage me quite a bit. So we're not going to go with that. Instead, we are going to freak out the chef by threatening to call the health inspector. If you've caught on by now, you are probably assuming I'm not going to successfully make this happen. But who knows? Spoilers, I did it, barely. Now, as you can see, I get a new clue, Jorg's fruit. So that Jorg is like the guy that is running the nightclub inside, I believe, and eating the fruit. And presumably it would not be great if he found out the fruit he was eating was off the floor. Correction, I'm not sure if Jorg is the guy like running the nightclub or if he's just somebody inside. But regardless, anyone inside finding out the fruit they are ordering to eat comes from the floor would not be happy. And so that's a little clue I can keep in my back pocket. Yeah, ouch. This one hurt. As you can see, not only did I take nerve damage, but I got a -4. And so the goal here is to get at least +2 so that I can beat the chef here. That one did not go well. As you can see, if I kept that roll, I would lose all of my nerve damage, all of my brains, and that would result in an instant game over. So we're gonna re-roll one of the chef's die. And we're gonna re-roll these ones so that I don't die. So as you can see, a lot of your die rolling is going to be, lots of heavy thinking. What is the best optimized roll I could possibly get that would ensure not only would I win this dice roll, but I would also, maybe get some money or maybe get some health or some brains back. It's never just one thing you're after. And that's kind of the thing I like most about this game. I love the dice rolling mechanic in general. It's what I loved about Citizen Sleeper, another great indie you should check out so much. And it's giving me very big D&D vibes, and I think that the extra conditions or the other things that can happen other than the dice with the number on it feels very D&D. You kind of have, yeah, sure, you might pass the dice roll, but you're going to lose a lot of health, or you can get some money as a result of your dice roll. I love the kind of different conditions and parameters that are placed on each dice roll, and I think that keeps them interesting. Fun game. Count how many times I've said dice or die. So as you can see, we kind of went up the stairs and the door is made of lasers. AKA there's no shot that I make it through that. And one of my demo playthroughs, I did walk through the lasers and it turns out you do not survive. Who would have thunk? So instead what we're going to do is just go to the door that's right here behind the bar. We're going to raise our observation dice up a bit, give me some better rolls, and now we're going to try to lock the door. As you can see, the highest dice the door has is a 4. Highest die, I know I've been saying dice and die interchangeably, but I'm sure there's some rule with which one you use. Anyway, as you can see, the highest they have is 4, the highest I have is 3. And we did not successfully pick lock that door. But that's okay. We're going to try again because now I have my tense dice that carries with it a +3. As you can see, we do tie here, so I could technically, I'm good to go if I continue. But, you know, why do that? Why not try to roll something better? Which is exactly what I'm going to do. Ouch. Yeah, that one hurts. Not great. So we're going to re-roll that one, of course. And we're stuck with it. Can't re-roll again. But that's okay, because we've made it through the door. And that is the end of this demo. Again, Betrayal at Club Low comes out on PC on September 9th, 2022, so not too long from now at all. It is developed and published by Cosmo D Studios, and it is a great time, at least so far in the 20 minutes I've played. I'm super excited to check out the final release, and I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Is this your kind of game? What do you think about these dice rolling games? They seem to be gaining popularity in the indie space. Anyway, thank you for watching this new gameplay today, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye now.